welcome you to the webinar on cloud computing, a key to the survival of business. Cloud computing is a very important activity which is conducted in the business world so that it saves time, it improves collaborations and improves networking. I request our director, Dr. Abhijit Mansarkar sir, to speak few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of All India Shri Shivaji Memorial Society's Institute of Management, it is my pleasure to heartily welcome each one of you for this webinar on cloud computing. I am proud to share it with you that our institute is A+ grade. This webinar is organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the Institute, led by Dr. Gauri Prabhu. The webinar is organized on an important topic, cloud computing. There is a crystal clear objective behind organizing this webinar. The novel coronavirus or COVID-19 has turned the world on its head. The world is witnessing sea of changes in every aspect of business organization, every sector of global economy. It has affected every domain of business organizations. The world order is divided into two time zones, before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. I think in these turbulent times, the Darwin's theory of evolution is still valid and relevant. The theory says survival of fittest. All the medical experts say today that the one who has got more immunity power or the one who has better immune system can combat COVID-19. It means the one who is fit to survive will survive. I think this is applicable to business organizations as well. The business organizations who are fit to survive in these turbulent times will survive in future and will grow thereafter. So what is required by the business organizations to adapt to these changes and make themselves fit in this difficult times? I think technology holds the key. So what business organizations will have to do is they will have to acquire new technology and upgrade their skills. Cloud computing is one such technology. The objective of this webinar is to gain insight into cloud computing and its benefits for business organizations. We are privileged to have amongst us Mr. Satish Bora, who is an eminent speaker for this webinar. He's a stalwart from the corporate world with very rich knowledge, expertise, and experience. I'm grateful to Mr. Satish Bora for accepting our invitation and making it possible to deliver this webinar. And I'm sure that this webinar will be a fruitful session for all of us. I would also like to welcome all the participants for this webinar who have shown interest and who have given overwhelming response to this webinar. So once again, I heartily welcome each one of you for this webinar. And we are very eager to listen to the words of wisdom of Mr. Satish Bora. But before that, I would request Dr. Gauri Prabhu to introduce our expert speaker. Dr. Gauri Prabhu.
Thank you, sir. Today we have with us a very renowned speaker in cloud computing, Mr. Satish Bora. He is the Chief Product Officer of Visible. He is a product specialist and IT expert guiding SaaS companies worldwide on product management and product marketing. He has over 20 years of IT consulting experience. He has to credit India's first award-winning integrated cloud platform, Cadashboard. He has worked for organizations like TCS and Infosys and engaged with clients of Fortune 500 companies. I welcome Mr. Satish Bora and request him to deliver the session. Over to you, Mr. Satish Bora.
Good morning, all. Thanks, Gauri, for the nice introduction. Thanks, Abhijit, for the kind words. I think what we will do is we'll start with the presentation. So I will share my screen, and then I will also stop my video so that I think everybody will be able to focus onto the presentation. Bear with me. I'm just sharing the slide. Okay, so we will start with this background, I think, which kind of a doctor really gave it in a nice way, which he talked about the pre-COVID, the way we used to call pre-BC and post-BC. He kind of introduction about the pre-COVID versus the post-COVID kind of information, as well as he talked about the Darwin's theory, which is very, very relevant in this current times. So let me just give the glimpse about how this COVID has impacted, and then we will come back to our main topic. So are you able to see my slides completely?
Yes.
Okay. So just wanted to ensure, because sometimes you never know the network glitch and all that. So I think the way you can see now how the COVID has really changed. So it's like started with a small thing in sometime in December or so, and within no time it is kind of a spread across the world, and we ourselves and India are really witnessing that. And never ever one could have imagined that we were having this kind of a remote working or remote sessions. So this COVID has kind of forced the things for everyone. So how it is now transforming the changes. If you look at the economy and stock market, it's like the stock market has kind of a tank when this COVID-19 struck, because people are not really sure what is going to happen. Next thing was the school and colleges. I think I'm pretty sure every one of you missing the college. Maybe initial first 5 days or a week, you might have thought it's really cool that I'm working from home, I'm attending the classes from home. But I'm pretty sure after the 1 week, you are missing that interaction with colleagues, meeting them, spending some time in canteen, and all that kind of a personal interactions. So this is what the reality is now, and this is becoming slowly a new normal. Nobody knows really whether it's a colleges or whether it's a schools going to reopen. Work front, I think similar situations. I know still the third week of March, everybody was pretty much working from their basically offices, and then there was no like thought never, because most of the organizations always believe that people need to be at their site, and remote working is really difficult. How you can track the work of the people, how you can ensure that work people are productive and they are really spending the time on right activities. That was the kind of thing which was there. But post COVID, I think there was no option for the organizations but to just adopt this remote working, and that is impacted large way, and it's every other organization is adopting to this. And thanks to cloud, because of this, which is becoming a really easy. And you might have already heard organizations like TCS are looking to really have their next 2 to 3 years. They are looking at almost 75% of their staff working from home. So that's a huge number when we talk about TCS like organizations. This is something I think everybody used to, and it is dramatically changed. Nobody knows when this tourism or the things will get open. Everybody is right now in a situation like when this I will be able to travel, because currently if you are in a say Pune, traveling outside also Pune, you used to take a permission and so on and so forth. So it's really becoming difficult. In fact, today I was just reading one WhatsApp message which seems to be coming from ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research, which is talking about forget about any overseas travel for next 1 year and so forth. That's really a testing times for everybody. How it is affecting the people? Can we imagine this kind of situation where there are like no people on the road, and this is all across. It's not only limited to any particular city or any particular country. It's all across. So it's something like a bad dream kind of, because sometimes people wonder, really, is it something that we are operating in this world where, while that small virus, and another day I was just talking to some few people, and somebody told me this COVID virus, if you really quantify that, it could be less than a 1 gram, and that particular virus is kind of making a havoc across the world. So imagine what kind of situation we are in, right? So that was a precursor I just wanted to kind of quickly give on to the COVID, because I think Doctor touched upon that. I just thought it's important. I should just cover that. So I think one of the good thing which is happening, I think because of the cloud, a lot of things are becoming much easier. Now the question comes, when it's a cloud computing. I know in this lot there are maybe some are MBAs, some are engineers, and everybody is either going to join a business more from the management perspective or maybe a engineering perspective. Irrespective of the stream what they are coming from, I think it's very essential that everybody needs to know the nuances or the details about this cloud computing, because this is very relevant irrespective of what kind of domain, what kind of business you join. The question comes is, do you use a cloud? Yeah, I think this is a common thing, and every one of us really uses the cloud some way or other. It's just that maybe we don't know behind the scenes how things operate. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys use maybe the social media channels, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and so forth. You are using a Amazon or a Flipkart for shopping. You are using some thing like YouTube and Netflix to watch the videos. You are using maybe the applications like Box or Dropbox, where you can store your files. So cloud is kind of a part of your day-to-day stuff. So it will be unwise because to say that cloud computing is a technical thing, I may not be required to know that. That would be, if any one of you are thinking of that sort, I think I want to kind of advise you that you need to remove this thing from your mind. The cloud aspect is something very core, irrespective of the stream, irrespective of the business, irrespective of the role you are playing. So imagine, because I used to conduct this another basically webinars where we conduct for IT for business, where we cover like how IT is important for any business. The same way cloud is important now for any business, irrespective whatever the stream, whatever the activities. So whether you are going to function as a HR, as a marketing, as a sales, as a delivery, any function, cloud is going to play a central and key role. So this is what the information is. It's a huge, right? If you talk about the information, by 2020, we are looking at close to 70% of enterprises infrastructure will be cloud-based. So when you are going to join any organization, and if that organization is not on a cloud, it's likely that you are working with an organization which will get out of the business, or they are on the verge of that. Because if you are not moving to cloud, it's a difficult thing. The question comes is the why part. Why we need a cloud actually? Because that's very, very important that everyone has to understand why you need a cloud. So these are some of the key things. So there are two aspects in the cloud. One is on-premise. On-premise in the sense like something you have the servers, you have the infrastructure at your end, in the sense you are having your own server room, your own servers, your own network, firewalls in your premises. And the second one is a more of a cloud base where somebody is managing that. Okay. So why we need cloud? I think the speed. So imagine if you want to really start anything new. So you want to create a new application, you want to start something new. Let's say you are having a product, you want to create a demo site, or you want to open any particular e-commerce thing, or for that matter, anything as a business you require. And if you want to do that in a traditional environment, you will start with the aspect like, okay, I need to have this particular server, then somebody has to come, then somebody has to install this software, and it's like a long laundry list, and it's really challenging to really go with that model, because the whole things are happening so fast. In the cloud, what is happening is it is happening at a, we call it as a speed of light. So for example, let's say I want to have a server which is a Windows server with maybe some database and some application. You can pretty much launch that within a 15 minutes time. That's the speed cloud can provide you. And that is sitting at your home, sitting at any place on the world. So you don't need to really like travel some vendor, try to get that machine and anything. So that's the kind of a speed we are talking about. Second important thing is the centralized best practices. So one is so for example, this is the age of pay as you go. So imagine most of you use the emails, whether you are using a Gmail or any other emails. Why you use that? Because somebody has created that in a best of architecture and you are leveraging that. So same thing, cloud is more of a centralized best practices. So the players like Amazon or Google, they are creating this best of world-class infrastructure, and then you are leveraging that remotely and you are using what you want. I think every one of you know about the prepaid model, right? You basically top up your mobile with some prepaid amount and you use it. The same thing you can do in the cloud. You want to use the server for like 2 days, you want to use the server for 5 days, you can do that. So recently we had this one of the MBA from Pumba, we had a few interns who were doing their project, and we wanted to really do this one of the email marketing tool, launch that tool and really use that for that activity. And they could do this within no time because they launched the server, they kind of configured on the cloud, and they just got started. And without really we interacting, in the sense, without really we sitting near to each other, it's just that with few minimum guidance, they could do this. So that's the power of, I would say, centralized best practices. Economy of scale, because you are leveraging from the common platform, it always comes with the economy of scale. So it's like a shared services kind of model, right? Because you are getting a small fraction of that, so you are getting charged for that much only. So it's like if I'm setting up a whole thing at my end, versus I'm just leveraging that as a service. Access from anywhere, anytime. That's the biggest benefit. I think anybody want to have that, and especially it is becoming very, very important this post-COVID, where you want to work from wherever you are in, and that is simply possible because cloud is able to provide that very, very effectively. The next part which comes is the coverage of services, because you want to really use latest stuff. So whether it's AI, the artificial intelligence, machine learning kind of things, or you want to do a robotic process automation, or you want to do something about IoT. Now this, if you are thinking of doing something of that sort, it will be really difficult if you try to create this infrastructure at your end. Cloud computing kind of gives that at a fingertips. You can just create this or use that model within no time, because you can use the super computing like power of the cloud by sitting at your home from your laptop. So that's the power which cloud provides you. So if you are doing some analysis, you are processing some large amount of data, you can just do from your laptop without really worrying about how I get this big data set, how I can query this big data set. So for example, somebody of you are in marketing, and you want to basically do some analysis around the social media posting of your competition, or what is the topic which is trending, what are the things which is the best tags which I can use. So that can only be possible if you have that kind of a big query analysis which the clouds can provide. So what is the cloud computing? I think while there are so many definitions, you can have it. So what used to happen typically in earlier days, you used to have your own machine, your own server room, which you are using. What is happening in the cloud computing? There is a centralized storage, centralized place where the service provider are hosting that servers, that softwares, and then you are subscribing to them. Right now it's a age of subscription, right? We are having the subscription of Tata Sky, we are having the subscription of say Netflix, we are having the subscription and so many different things, right? So you subscribe to that, you pay the amount which you want. Moment subscription ends, you are basically access to that particular thing end. So that's where it is kind of helping you to do that. What is the benefit which is offering because of this cloud? I think it provides you agility. So I mentioned about the agility. It's like within no time you can really launch any new services, any new infrastructure within the cloud. The cost saving. You are doing a small exercise in the sense, let's say you want to test it out certain hypothesis as a part of the marketing, as a part of your engineering projects. So, and for that, you need to have a quick infrastructure setup, and you don't want to really spend months of that. So you can just use the cloud for the limited amount of time. Let's say you want this analysis to be done on a large data set. So what you can do is you can use the cloud, hardly use for maybe few hours of time, 1 day, 2 day, and just do that. So that's where the cost advantage cloud can provide you. The elasticity and the security. So elasticity is nothing but because what happens is when you are running any business, you want to have the mechanism where you can scale as you want. So for example, when this Flipkart or Amazon are doing their big $1 billion sale, what happens is there is a huge traffic which is coming to their sites. Now there is a one way how they can do it is they can create an infrastructure which will support that traffic, or they have the mechanism by which as the traffic grows, their infrastructure size, their infrastructure grows, and that is what we call it as a elasticity. So cloud provides you that, so that there is a things called as auto scaling. So what happens is, like, so let's say I'm having a 1 lakh users which is hitting my e-commerce site, and tomorrow there is a big sale, and I know that site is going to get bombarded by maybe 5 lakh users. So how to handle that? So that's where the cloud can help to really do that very well, where you can help with elasticity kind of things. The security aspect is very, very important. Any business, when running into the cloud, it is very, very important that the businesses are taking the enough security, because all the customer data, whether it's a financial data, personal data, is hosted into your applications. So it is important that it is really handled in a secured way. And that's where the security, the cloud comes with the best and breed of the security, so that you taken the best precautions, which is only available by the big cloud service provider. If you are a small provider, you may not have the best of the solutions. So just to little further on that, so this, if you can see, this is where what the cloud provides you. Clouds provide you the infrastructure where you can have the machines which can help as a servers to you. You can get the storage space. You can really get the different services which you can use for your applications. And the end customers will be using either their laptop, desktops, mobiles, or what are the end devices to access these services. So that's what typically they call it as a front end and a kind of a back end, you can say. So one question which might be, some of you might be thinking, how this happens. So what happens is, in typical scenario, you are having the data center, you are having your own server. So instead of that, what is happening is there are these big companies which is creating these data centers. So data centers is nothing but a centralized location where all this inventory infrastructure is hosted. And this data center are as big as football grounds. So it's like it's a really fun to watch. Some of you may be seen that, or if not, I would suggest you go ahead and see in the YouTube what is data center, and maybe check some video around that. So these data centers are all the basically centralized location where all the servers, networking equipment, internet, all are connected. And then this is the things which we as an end user, end customer access over the internet and connect to them. And these data centers come up with the best of the infrastructure, best of the standards. So these all the data centers are typically, I would say, fireproof, bomb squad proof, earthquake proof, all that. Because when you are hosting the cloud data in cloud, you want to ensure that nothing gets lost because of the issue with the data center. So these companies create this data center with a state-of-art infrastructure. So for example, we have the data center of Amazon AWS at Mumbai. And similarly, they have the data centers or this worldwide. There is data center of Reliance as well. So some of you might have seen in the Mumbai, if you go to the Eastern Express Highway, you will witness the data centers which Reliance is having. It's really worth to see. If you get a chance anytime, do visit and see that actually. Next question comes is, in the cloud computing, what are the different types of the cloud? So there is like a public, private, hybrid, and community. So public cloud is something which more or less most of are using. So we are using like whether it's AWS or Google, GCP, or Microsoft Azure, or IBM. So something of that sort. So it's a public cloud. We are subscribing to that cloud services, and we are hosting our application in that. So we are signing up and using our own way. The private cloud is a very, very specified cloud which is created for your organization. So some of the organizations which are into, I would say, the healthcare or maybe the financial domain are using this private cloud because of the data security and the regulatory requirements. Hybrid cloud is more of a, I would say, the combination of the public and private based on your data, based on the company size, you can use that. And the community cloud, which is more of a driven by the community stuff. So what are the different services which cloud provides? So first and foremost is the infrastructure as a service. So you can see that at the bottom layer, that is a, you can see that Amazon EC2 soft layer, so many different things, which is like infrastructure as a service. Then you see the storage as a service. So whatever the things, for example, a few of us definitely use the Google Drive or a Dropbox or OneDrive. That is like a storage as a service which we are using. Then it's a platform as a service. So we are using the platform, whether it's Azure or AWS or different platforms which we use. Then the data as a service. So what we can do is, instead of creating our own infrastructure and all that, what you can do is you can actually kind of subscribe to data as a service and configure in that, and the centralized service provider will actually take care of that. Then function as a service. So what you do is you can create certain functions. So you need to have certain functionality within the cloud. So you do that function as a service and use that. And the last one, I think pretty much every one of us daily uses, is a software as a service. So more or less every application is getting migrated to a software as a service. So we are using Office 365 or maybe the Google Suite or so many different software, which is coming as a software as a service. And if you see the right side, which are this top cloud service provider. So it's like a AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Then there is a Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. Alibaba Cloud has a major presence in China. And there are like these small players like GoDaddy, BigRock, which are also there, which is providing these services. So you should be aware about this thing. You should not get questioned when somebody asks like where are your application is installed or where is your application is hosted. You should be knowing this irrespective whether you are working in technical areas or a business area. You should be really aware about this thing. And these are the things, some of the things act as some of the times USP. So for example, you are part of a company who is providing software as a service. And let's say your software is in a financial domain. You are an MBA, you are a marketing head of that company. And when you are talking to your potential customers, it may happen that they will ask which cloud services you are hosting, how safe it is, and so many different things. Okay, Gauri, I'm seeing that there is a less than a minute thing. So I think it may just disconnect after a minute. So do you want to have everybody join again back, or how is that?
We will join back again if the meeting ends.
Okay, okay.
And I think
With the same
login
ID and
and-
password.
Correct.
Okay, okay. Sure.
So
this
I think, madam, let us right now leave this meeting and join back for another meeting using same ID and password.
The next meeting is scheduled at 10:45. It's
Okay.
not taking
So
before that.
let sir continue for some time,
Yes,
and
yes.
then 10:45 we join again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Sir, you can continue.
Yeah. So I was talking about this service providers. That is something which every one of you should know. Another important part which I want to stress upon, because I myself has done my electronics engineering. I have done my MBA. So it's sometimes you might be in a zone. I am a management student. I may not really know this technology, or I am an engineering. I just know this much. So I think gone are the days. Now what is happening is it's all about a techno-functional role, which is where the whole world is. How business in cloud is going to provide the benefits to the business. I think it's very, very cost effective. So what used to earlier happen is like if you are starting any business, because you need to have the big infrastructure set up, and then you need to have so many people, because if you are starting any business, you require to have infrastructure, you need to have so many people to create this so many things. What happened is like because of the cloud, you can actually launch the infrastructure, the services very, very with minimal cost. and nobody is going to see from where you are operating and all that. So it's kind of a remove that barriers which was earlier present, because earlier, if you like, let's say 4 or 5 people, you are starting a company and really doing some great application in the on-premise phase, it could have not been possible because of the fact that how can you handle the load, how can you really scale up the services the way you want. It was all that difficult, but because of the cloud, it is becoming really easy. So that's where that cost effectiveness which is coming. The reliability. So this cloud comes with a aspect, they call it as a multi-region, multi-availability zone. So when you say multi-availability zone, in the sense, every cloud provider has this data centers, which we just talked in earlier slides. They have their cloud data centers across the world. So what happens is, let's say I have hosted my application on this Amazon, one of the cloud, one of the region. So if anything happens to that particular cloud, I can quickly switch to the another their location, which could be in Singapore, which could be in US, which could be in Japan. So that's the reliability which clouds provides. So that way it is becoming very, very easy for anybody who is using the cloud. Scalability, flexibility, and agility, I think that's very, very powerful. So you can scale it up as you require. You don't require to be like, so let's say you are an application, you are a business into where you want to really having the load only in a first 2 days of a month. So rest of the month is a very, very lull period for you. So what you can do is you can configure the application in such a way so that during that first 2 days you are using the maximum utilization, or the way cloud services can be configured is like there are things like auto scaling, or based on the traffic you can auto launch the servers, additional servers, so that you can cope up with the load. So that's the flexibility cloud can provide. You can also go with the data. So one of the challenges, if you are doing an application into the, let's say, financial or a healthcare domain, or something like IoT, where you are collecting a huge data across the locations. So unless you have a high class storage and where you don't need to worry about if my storage is of 100 GB or 500 GB, you just get virtually unlimited storage. That's what cloud provides you. So in the cloud, you can have terabytes of data, petabytes of data. So it's really, really huge storage, and then you can access that at a really fractional cost at any given moment of time. Next is a high performance or a security business. So if you are providing some services where the application require the security or the high performance, you can actually leverage cloud big way, because cloud provides you the high performance computing, whether it's call it as GPU or CPUs, where you can subscribe to that services without worrying too much of their upfront cost. Because in our earlier model, one has to go with all the upfront cost. So it's a new phenomena, right? So instead of buying a 1 crore, 1 CR flat, you may just be happy enough to rent a good flat or a good row house in a 20,000 rupees per month, because of that's the new economy, that's the new model which either society at a personal level or a business level people are adopting, because that gives you the comfort. You get the choice. If you tomorrow want to move out to some other location, you are not tied down to one location and one particular class of the things. So that's the very, very effective model which comes with this. This is a very, very important. So I think Netflix, pretty much everyone knows us. I think Netflix was earlier actually used to deliver the CDs. I would say they used to deliver the DVDs to the people in the US, and then they subsequently started this model where they could subscribe the content on the site. Now, when they were doing this, their core business was to really create this content and provide these services to the customers. Now, if cloud would have not been there, they would have spent like an enormous amount of time to just configure that and really work around that. because of the cloud, what has happened is they use the Amazon Web Services, which help them to launch thousands of servers and terabytes of storage within minutes. And they were able to concentrate on their core work, which is the creating that content, creating that movies. Again, one important thing why I have taken the Netflix example is like, if you really see Amazon Prime and Netflix more or less giving the same service, but what is happening is Netflix, without really worrying about the security and other aspect, they are using the AWS, because that's what is it's the age of collaboration. You want to leverage what is best with the partners and concentrate on your core business. So when you come out of your colleges, whether it's MBA, engineering, this is one of the very, very important fact you guys really need to know about, how you collaborate. This is an age of collaboration. So you can't just sit in a silos and worrying that I will create my own so that Amazon doesn't copy and so on and so forth. Because if Netflix could have thought that they will go with this model where they will create their own cloud and all that, maybe years might have taken to just do that. But because of the Amazon, they could just do this within no time. So that's a change in a thought process. That's the way you want to really look at aspect. So that's I think that's some of the benefits, some of the things which cloud computing really provides. Now there could be question because I believe this audience is pretty much the MBA students as well as the engineering. I wanted to also couple of touch base on some of the other areas. So what is the next thing? Opportunities, right? Because everybody is interested. Okay, the cloud is there, cloud computing is there, but what's in there for me? So what is happening is, well, cloud was there since last few years, but COVID has kind of worked as a catalyst to enable this remote working. So now you are MBA from particular college, you are maybe operating from a certain city within India. If you have yourself enabled into the cloud, you are using the latest tools, you can pretty much work for any company anywhere in the world. So that's the power which can cloud is providing you. So it's better you understand the benefits of the cloud. So this is very, very important. You can earn in dollars while you are sitting at your home in India, in maybe some corner city or some village where you have a good network connectivity. And luckily, while remote working was there since for last few years, but COVID has kind of enabled the remote working more way, and there is a good adoption from the companies for that. Okay, I just thought I needed. So every business is shifting to the cloud, and there are phenomenal jobs which is getting created into the cloud. Okay, and so one has to look into that as a very, very serious thought considerations. Gone are the jobs which is like a traditional one. So if you are doing some traditional work that is taken care by the things like robotic process automation or artificial intelligence or machine learning kind of thing. So you need to really enable yourself so that you are up to date with the things which is current in the market, which is what really working out. And this is what the estimation, which is, it's a really huge thing. And believe me, because I keep talking to some of the companies in the US, actually they are still in this current area also, they are struggling to get the right resources into the cloud space. So whether it's a engineer who can help in the cloud implementation, or the MBAs of who can help in selling the cloud solution and really fulfill and understand the customer's requirement. So that's a phenomenal space where you can leverage. Just also wanted to give a glimpse of you, because while you got the idea what is the cloud computing, what is the provider and all that, you should be really understanding. So I just wanted to like quickly touch upon this topic. So AWS is one of the oldest which is called as Amazon Web Services. They are the really comprehensive kind of cloud service platform provider, where they are providing the lot of functionality, highly secure, large community of customers, and they are really fast in their pace of innovation. Most of you might have heard Jeff Bezos, who is their founder actually. It's really worth, you definitely want to look into this particular, the story of the AWS and how they have really conquered this particular space. The good important part is this Amazon Web Services. Right now they are providing close to 1,000+ different services, and then new things are continuously getting added to this. So as an end user, you need to really know, or as a person who is going to work with the customer, you need to know what are the different services, what are the different features which these cloud services are provided. And this is something which will commonly land up whenever you are working into the any business for that matter. So this is a typical screen how you log into any cloud computing. So in this case, you are logging into the AWS, and you are basically using the simple browser, and you are logging in. And these are the different services which you can see as a part of the different thing. And you can see that how the services are categorized by the different needs. So if I'm requiring to require the servers which is required to compute. So in the sense, I need to do the processing where I need to do the computational activities. I can select from different services. If I want to use a storage, I can use this different storage services. If there is something which I'm doing in financial domain, or I want to use the this ledger and thing from the blockchain, I can use that. If I'm doing something on the satellite specific thing, I can use that particular services. Quantum technology, it is a new thing, definitely worth looking into. That is the future. It's really where you can really get a very high computational power, where you can solve the problems which otherwise could have taken years in a minutes. So that's the quantum stuff which is providing. Then you have this analytics, which most of you might be interested because of the fact that you are going to work in analytics, whether it's your marketing analytics, sales analytics, user experience, user engagement analytics, that kind of things. Security is a part of everything. It's a horizontal kind of thing. Internet of Things, which is again the smart cities and different IoTs, whether it's automation of the manufacturing or different services which you are kind of providing as a part of this. So that's pretty much I just kind of wanted to cover as a part of this. I'm sure we can talk maybe few hours or few days, because each of their services, each of the areas itself is a big drill down. We can go into deeper of that, but I just thought just to cover the key aspect, which is what important and which is what I think you guys can really leverage and utilize. So what we can do is maybe Gauri, if it is okay, we can take a few questions if any one of have any questions.
Yes, Mr. Satish. It was indeed a very informative session, and we got information about cloud benefits, opportunities in cloud computing. So this session will certainly benefit all the faculties and all the students. Now I request the participants to unmute and ask questions. Any questions?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, regarding cloud security, how we can say the security level is high? Because there are so many cases which come up with that there are problems in the clouds. So what you will suggest, like which type of security services is been provided by service providers are much better than if you compare different cloud
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a
between them,
great
which
question.
one is better one?
Yeah, this is a
Would
great
you like to
question.
highlight?
Yeah, this is a great question. This is something every business is worrying about. So irrespective of the role you play, every business, when they are putting their business into the cloud, they are worried about whether my business will be secured enough when I'm putting into the cloud. Okay, so this is very, very important thing when you basically do this. So I think just to give the glimpse about that, is what happens in a traditional way. What you do is you host application in your own server, okay, or basically on some server which is connected to internet. So you can't really have the best of the breed security. So when it comes to security, what you want to ensure is that whatever where your application is hosted, that area is physically proof. So let's say you are hosting in your office. Is that office is a physically proof, in the sense it is proof from the bomb attack, or a earthquake proof, or is it a theft proof? All that aspect, that is simply impossible if you are doing in a normal way. Cloud provides that to you. Second important thing is the best practices. So when you are doing at an individual level, you might just do a very, very simple best practices. But when it comes to cloud companies come up with the best of the certifications, which is otherwise difficult for the most of the service providers to go with that. So cloud companies come with the certifications, or the things like they come up with the ISO 27001 certifications, or they can have the SOC 2 kind of a certification, or they are compliant with the GDPR kind of thing. So these are some of the things which can really help to provide that confidence to your customers, that we are, because when you take this certification, you are ensuring that you are following the world's best practices. So likelihood of any security lapses or chances are very, very less. So that's another very, very important thing. Then the cloud companies are having the right skill of people, and they have the enough monitoring tools which are in place, which is again simply impossible for anybody to really do that in absence of cloud. So that's another beauty of the cloud. Cloud comes with all these best of the breed services, as far as the monitoring, as far as doing the failover, essentially the reliability. So imagine like what happens. So currently, if electricity goes away, what is the way we can do is if we have, say, like a UPS where it will take it over, or an inverter kind of thing which will take over. So similarly, cloud services provider come up with this mechanism. So there is a failover which kind of helps you to move from one area to other, and that is a behind the scenes. So even customer also not know that there was an issue in this Mumbai region, and they have shifted to another region. So that's the kind of a level cloud provides. So and then they basically provide this all the best of the services at a fraction of cost. So that's where I think cloud helps you to really overcome or take care of these security aspects.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any further questions?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
good morning. Please go ahead.
Sir, it was indeed a very informative session. You have said that by the end of 2020, almost 70% of the companies will be shifting to cloud computing. I have a question in this context, that how many number of jobs would be created? Do we have any kind of a statistics on it in terms of numbers? That is one. Second is, if the students have to take up these kind of jobs, what kind of courses or certifications they will have to acquire, or what kind of courses they need to do so that they can take the benefit of it?
Yeah, I think very, very good question. I think that's very, very important. At the end of the day, what's in it for me? I think that's always a question one should have. And I think one of the slides, in fact, that's what I covered this, where we are talking about 1 million cloud computing job roles by 2022. So it's a huge number. So I think there will be enough jobs available in this particular space. But I think coming back to your question is like how I can become really ready for that. So I think there are different ways you can do this. So one is there are a lot of online platforms. I'm pretty sure most of students know this, whether it's a Coursera, whether it's a Udemy, where you have these courses, which is you are getting again at a fractional cost. Because if you go in a physical courses, it may cost you really thousands of rupees. But in Udemy, if you, for example, you want to do a say some certification in a cloud or some course in cloud, it may just cost you a 400 or 500 rupees. And with that, you can actually cover the whole session as well as do the certifications as well. So there are certifications which is coming from these cloud companies. So there is a certifications from AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Cloud. So you can select one of them and go with that certifications, because kind of certification enables, because let's say you are applying for any overseas job, certification is kind of helps you to pass that first hurdle, because people know that, okay, you are certified means your knowledge is kind of getting validated by some third party. So that's something which you can do. And I think another important aspect which I would like to share is like, this is something you can do by sitting at home. In fact, this is the best time to sharpen your skills, because it's the time when the whole world is like everybody is sitting at home. And once the things open up, I think there will be tremendous opportunities. So how you can sharpen your skills, sharpen your thing, and you can do by just watching the YouTube, by doing these courses. Just to give the one more example on this front is my younger son is in 10th. He just finished his exam. In fact, his 3-4 papers are still to be given, and he wanted to do something in the graphics design because he's a little creative and he's interested in that. So he finished the Adobe Illustrator, and there is a basically Photoshop. He did both the things online, both the courses, and what I can say is he is able to create some of the graphics which I see difficult to create for a 2-3 years experienced person. So that's where the world is moving. So I would definitely encourage everyone to take this time and really go through this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Satish, for answering all the questions. It was indeed a informative session where you emphasized on the need of cloud, the benefits of cloud, and the opportunities in cloud computing. It will certainly benefit all the students who have attended this session, as well as the faculty members also. They'll be aware of how it can be used in various specializations.